Once a project has been created, materials, layers and ports have been defined, it's time to build the structure to be simulated, properly speaking. So when it comes to build the structure, we go to the Elements panel, and in the Elements panel we can create an element. Let's say we create a rectangle. When creating a rectangle, first we have to choose the layer which we will use. Let's say we create an FR4 layer, and then we have two options. We can either draw the rectangle directly by clicking in the 2D space, or we can type the coordinates we want in the coordinates window and generate it. Let's say that as an example we will draw it. So we just click in one corner and go to another corner, and now this rectangle has been defined. We can just double click on its coordinates and say we change its size, and that's it. We can fit the view to see what it looks like. So this is a piece of FR4, 20 millimeters by 20 millimeters and 800 microns thick as defined in the layer properties. And now we can go on defining things. Let's say we will now define some copper on the top layer, and we can draw things like a rectangle here. So as can be seen, it's not so easy to fit the coordinates precisely. So there's a trick that can be used, is to define a snap grid setting. Let's say we use a snap multiple 100, and then it will be much easier to create another polygon, since all the vertex now are on a grid, a snap grid, so it makes the capture much easier. So we can go on defining things. And now we can get back to some rectangles and decide that we round the coordinates to some multiples of 100 for convenience. Okay, now we will define some access points. So we will create additional rectangles. Let's say we place one here, but instead of keeping it unconnected, affected to no port, let's say we connect this one to a reference port. We create another rectangle, for instance here, and we will affect it to a potential. We will create another here that we will affect to a port 2, and finally we will create one here that we will affect to port 3, for instance. Save, and we are done. So in this example, which is defined in the resistive domain, we have defined some copper patterns on the surface of our PCB. We have defined a number of ports, access points, and we can go on by simulating the structure.